The night he decided not to quit, nobody noticed. No dramatic music, no applause, just a flickering street light and a boy sitting on a broken bench counting the last 3 coins in his pocket. They weren't enough for food, not enough for a bus ride, not even enough for a cup of tea. He stared at them anyway, like they might magically multiply if he believed hard enough. They didn't. A cold wind passed. People walked by, fast, busy, alive. And for a moment, he felt invisible. His name was Daniel, and life had quietly pushed him into a corner no one else seemed to see. He wasn't always like this. There was a time he had dreams that felt loud, colorful, unstoppable. He believed he would build something meaningful, something that mattered. But life doesn't break you in one moment. It does it slowly, politely, repeatedly. First came the job rejection, then another, then the interviews that ended with fake smiles and "we'll call you." They never called. His friends stopped inviting him out, not because they were cruel, but because he always said no. No money, no energy, no confidence. Weeks turned into months. Bills stacked up like silent accusations. The landlord stopped knocking politely. He knocked like he already knew the answer. Late again, still trying, still not enough. Daniel started avoiding mirrors because every time he looked, he saw someone shrinking. And the worst part wasn't being broke, it was being forgotten. No one asked how he was doing. No one noticed he disappeared from conversations. No one remembered the dreams he once spoke about. Even he started forgetting. One afternoon, he sat in the crowded cafe, not to drink anything, just to stay warm. Around him, people laughed, typed, planned vacations, discussed promotions. He overheard someone say, "I just closed the biggest deal of my life." Daniel looked down at his empty hands. He felt like he was watching life through glass. That was the moment something dangerous crept into his mind. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is all I become. A quiet life, a forgotten name, a story that never really started. He stood up, walked out, and for a few seconds he truly considered giving up. Not in a dramatic way, just slowly, silently, like dimming a light until no one notices it's gone. But then something small happened. He passed a bookstore window and saw his reflection. Messy hair, tired eyes, shoulders slightly bent. He barely recognized himself. And suddenly, a strange thought hit him. What if this isn't the end? What if this is just the lowest point? He didn't feel motivated. He didn't feel inspired. He just felt stubborn. And sometimes, stubborn is stronger than hope. That night, instead of sleeping early, he opened his old notebook, the one he hadn't touched in months. The pages were dusty, but the ideas were still alive. Half-written plans, rough sketches, random thoughts. He read them slowly. Some were bad, some were unrealistic, some made him smile, but they all had one thing in common. They belonged to someone who once believed. Daniel picked up a pen. His hand hesitated. Then he wrote one sentence. "I'm not done yet." It wasn't dramatic, it wasn't perfect, but it was movement. The next morning, he woke up earlier than usual, not because he was excited, but because he didn't want to feel useless again. He started small, watching tutorials, learning skills, sending emails, reaching out, failing again. But this time, failure didn't feel like a wall. It felt like stairs. Slow, frustrating, uneven stairs. Days blurred into nights. He worked while the city slept. He learned while others scrolled. He built something, quietly, imperfectly. No one cheered, no one noticed, but something inside him started changing. His posture straightened, his voice became firmer. His eyes stopped looking down. Still, success didn't come fast. There were days he almost quit again. Days the bank balance looked like a joke. Days he questioned everything. But he kept going, not because he was confident, but because he refused to return to that bench under the streetlight. Months later, something unexpected happened. One email, just one. Someone had seen his work. They weren't offering millions, they weren't promising fame, just a small opportunity, a chance. Daniel stared at the screen, heart racing. He read it 3 times just to be sure it was real. He accepted immediately. The first project was messy, the second slightly better. The third, people started noticing. Slowly, quietly, momentum began. Clients turned into referrals. Referrals turned into consistency. Consistency turned into stability. And one day, he checked his account and realized something strange. He wasn't surviving anymore. He was building. The boy who counted coins now counted possibilities. But the real transformation wasn't money. It was mindset. He stopped waiting for validation, stopped needing applause, stopped fearing being forgotten, because he understood something powerful. When no one believes in you, you become your own audience. Years later, Daniel walked past that same streetlight, same bench, same cold wind, but he wasn't the same person. He sat down, not because he had nowhere to go, but because he remembered. He remembered the silence, the loneliness, the moment he almost gave up, and he smiled, softly, because his comeback didn't start when success arrived. It started when he decided not to disappear. Life didn't suddenly become easy. It became meaningful. He wasn't lucky. He wasn't special. He was just determined. And sometimes determination is louder than talent, stronger than support, more powerful than timing. Because when someone is broke, forgotten, and still refuses to quit, their comeback isn't a possibility, it's inevitable. So if you're sitting in your own quiet moment right now, feeling invisible, feeling behind, feeling like the world moved on without you, remember this: the world didn't forget you. It just hasn't seen you rise yet. Your lowest point might just be your starting line. Your silence might be where your strength is forming. Your struggle might be sharpening the version of you that's coming. And one day, people will look at you and call it luck. They'll say you appeared out of nowhere, but you'll know the truth. You were always there, working, failing, standing back up again and again, quietly, building your inevitable comeback. And if this story felt like it was written for you, stay close, because the next one might be the moment your own comeback begins.